So hello from my side. I'm happy to introduce ngena to you today. It's a next generation enterprise network alliance. And what it's all about, it's about delivering corporate networks, IP, VPNs to enterprise and business customers. And the core issue we want to solve and address is the following. Many of our customers, if you talk to them today, tell you that current networks do not deliver according to the requirements of customers, especially if it comes to 2 or 3 different dimensions. First of all, nearly all our customers are truly global, have international sites somewhere around the world, sales site, or sales offices, production sites, of course headquarter sites. They're really distributed. None of our service providers currently is really good with a high capillarity to provide to each and everywhere around the globe telco services. Secondly, there's a high need for fast adaptation of infrastructure. IT is moving fast toward cloud paradigms. Businesses are changing very fast. Reorganization, mergers and acquisitions, spinning of business units, every of these changes requires change of infrastructure as well. Thirdly, we have heard from Peter very nicely that there's a high bandwidth need increase. So of course, costs and efficiency plays a significant role. And currently, if you look into the way how classical networks are provisioned, it's rather a patchwork of different technologies, connecting different networks to deliver somehow international services. And based on the old processes and workflows, you typically are quite lengthy in the way how you do provisioning. You are not agile at all. So what we want to do with the ngena approach is to provide a network which is more or less addressing all that issues. So what it is really is in a nutshell, it is first of all an alliance of strong telecommunication service providers which are strong in a given region. So it is more or less the approach of turning regional networks, which are primarily, we use the transport capabilities of our alliance partner, into a real global SD-WAN overlay approach network, so that we can deliver consistent services end-to-end across the globe. So ngena itself, the kernel of that approach, is a startup company. We have decided that we really need a greenfield approach to come up with this kind of platform which we build based on software-defined networks and NFV philosophy, a completely automated platform which is completely built on software basis. So, and the whole goal is to provide, as I already mentioned, the IP VPN services for business and corporate customers in a wholesale model. So it is the alliance partners, or these are the alliance partners, selling to their customers so that we can combine the global reach via the alliance approach with the local care, the customer service with a respective alliance partner. The core philosophy behind that is the economy of sharing. So it allows our alliance partners, and here you find the alliance partners we currently are working with, that they can provide global services beyond their own regional capabilities, because in sharing their networks and leveraging the ngena platform, they can deliver consistent services globally. So you have heard about the 4 founding members. ngena was first announced in February 2016 at Mobile World Congress. At that point in time, there's been 4 founding members with Deutsche Telekom, Centralink, Reliance Jio, and SK Telecom. Now many more joined from all over the world, from Telstra in Australia, with Telos in Canada, with StarHub in Singapore, and so on and so on. Really, I think we are quite comprehensive. It is an ecosystem play. So alliance partners are absolutely key, because they are providing, on one hand, the regional strong networks, and the other hand, they have the capabilities to really serve the customers. On the other hand, it's a technology game as well. So within that ecosystems, we have very strong technology partners. With Cisco, the core technology piece on the SDN NFV platform comes from Cisco. We have another important technology partner which provides the BSS, OSS components to it, because we have developed an end-to-end IT stack with end-to-end automation, including BSS, OSS. This comes with ComArc, or is provided by ComArc, a Polish company. And we are also working very closely together with Equinix, providing us, of course, data center capabilities around the world, but as well also with the Cloud Exchange platform, the capability to connect to cloud platforms, which is also included in our portfolio. Having said that, the ngena really is leveraging all the, I would say, benefits which the software-defined network approach can deliver. It is, as I mentioned, completely software-defined, really allowing us to be much faster, because it's not more about dedicated boxes with all that logistics and all that configuration, manual configuration you need to do. It is via the automation process very easy to do changes and innovation on that one. It is automated and not anymore manual. I will come to that one. We are using a layered service orchestration end-to-end, so nobody really, while deploying a solution, so provisioning or doing change management, is touching anymore any kind of device. It is completely programmable. It means we are working with policies, and it is more or less all information are given on a service level and is automatically translated into all the technical and functionalities which are used to configure virtualized and hardware devices. With business analytics and aggregation of a lot of data, of course, we have the capabilities to do a lot of predictive rather than responsive actions for our platform. And as a platform is very much application aware, so we can do application-based routing and things like that. So we are very much more oriented towards the business intent rather than the classical pure connectivity and network intent. Of course, standard IT platform we are using is an OpenStack environment. Of course, it's end-to-end encryption and high security is in there. Of course, all assurance topics to ensure high quality is deployed as well. Having said that, just to give you a quick or brief overview on the structure where you should sort ngena into. So on the upper part, you see classical technology vendors. More on the left-hand side, the classical one, which added SDN functionality to a more classic portfolio. And on the right-hand side, more the guys who are more or less born in the SD-WAN environment. At the lower part, you see some of the players coming from the managed service environment on the left-hand side, more the classical telecommunication providers. On the right-hand side, the new guys which coming up with new models. Of course, ngena would belong from its business model to the lower right-hand corner. But what it indeed really does is we are leveraging with our strong partnerships with Cisco. Now Cisco have on board, of course, Viptela, the latest technologies deeply integrated within an integrated DevOps process, which is spanning also across our technology providers. So we have set up a business model which integrates our technology partners deeply into the development of new services. Therefore, it's not a vendor relationship we have here, it's a real partner relationship, because they're really helping us in designing and setting up that platform. So what we are doing is that we are bringing in that capabilities together with the alliance approach. So more or less, even if ngena from a business model belongs to the lower right-hand corner, it is more or less covering the whole space from a capability perspective in bringing it together in a consistent business model. So what is a technology approach which we are taking? More in the black one part, you see the classical, rather hub and spoke environment which you would find with classical MPLS networks or Ethernet VPN-based networks. So you have your branch offices or production sites and you have your main data centers. And typically, in the past, you have all your business applications there. With the changing in the application space, moving the application more towards the internet, the SD-WAN approach has grown, and of course you need directly to reach out to the applications now being on the public cloud platforms via the internet. So that is the classical SD-WAN approach. So what ngena really is doing is combining both approaches in a real hybrid manner in providing the highly predictable performance via the Ethernet network together with the internet approach on a single platform as a completely integrated approach. So this is, I think, two very important aspects. Peter talked about how important it is from an efficiency point of view to integrate the internet into your hybrid network approach just to save costs. And on the other hand, the integration of the internet is very much driven by the public cloud platforms, which more or less all the business customers already are running parts of the application on Azure, on Amazon Web Services, or all the other very well-known platforms here. So having said that, looking a little bit deeper into the architecture, what we are really doing. So the ngena platform itself consists of a set of data centers which is nicely distributed around the world, and we are connecting at these data centers into the networks of our alliance partners. They are using two means of connectivity, as already mentioned, hybrid approach, so meaning the Ethernet point-to-point connections or the public internet here. So the whole platform is connected via private backbone so that we can control the quality of the transport between our data centers and can ensure really end-to-end SLAs. So what you find here are the different, how we call it, access designs. So it's access designs. We have chosen different, I would say, sizes for it. We have chosen the T-shirt sizes. So the smallest one, which you find with the green one, the S size is a single internet link. You have a the XS, you have the redundant internet link with the S. You have a combination of internet and Ethernet link with the M design, and you have the redundant Ethernet links providing, of course, the best SLAs with the redundancy on the Ethernet links. With this different access designs standardized for all the different business locations around the world, you can more or less design any kind or serve any kind of use case for a business customer, for a small sales office with a single or redundant internet link, up to, of course, a headquarter function or a headquarter site or production site with a redundant Ethernet links. Important is that the whole network, of course, is centrally controlled via an orchestration which allows us to have a completely automated provisioning of the corporate or business customer network on a global scale. How does it really work? You see it here on that next slide. So we have defined a consistent data model which is consistent across the whole stack of IT components. So it all starts with the ngena portal, where you do the design of a network for your customer. You could select whatever it is, 50 or 100 of different business sites. You can choose the access designs you want to deploy for the different sites. You can add value-added services, for example, security services and so on. You all do that, including all the technical configuration on a single pane of glass in the ngena portal. So we are working with a global service catalog where you can select all that services from. You simply select it, and then what is happening is that the product data model is more or less created and is pushed forward towards the orchestrator. What the orchestrator really is doing a network extraction and is creating the network configuration for the whole global platform, including the backbone, and later up to more than 20 data centers where our real software platform is running on. Now, as it is a layered service orchestration, so from the network abstraction, it goes down to the hardware abstraction. So on each of the data centers, we call it ngena hubs, then the local configurations for the virtualized as well for the physical devices are created. So the ones which are running in the data center or the CPEs at the customer site. In the data centers, we're using a standard IT environment. It's an OpenStack environment. And on top of that OpenStack environment, we are running our set of NFVs, providing all the telco services, which is the switching, the routing, the firewall functions, the application performance, and all the other stuff which is needed to provide corporate networks. So, and after you have done your configuration, and the same holds true for the whole change management on the ngena portal, via this approach, the consistent data model and the layered service orchestration, the provisioning is done without anybody anymore touching it or even looking at it, just from the BSS system. Yeah. So it works really end to end. And that was the reason why we have chosen to do it greenfield, because if you would bound to be to any of the legacy systems, you may be very much aware of that one, it would be nearly impossible to create this degree of consistency across the whole stack. Having said that, let us look briefly at the portfolio overall. So the center of the portfolio, as I already have explained, of course, are our access designs, the different types to connect different customer sites with each other, and of course with the global platform itself. So from the single internet link to the highly redundant Ethernet links. We provide, of course, also internet breakout services. We provide that in the first step at the regional level, at the hub site. Later on, if we also support the virtualized CPE, we also run NFV at the customer site on an x86-based box. And then we also provide local internet breakout. There's a bunch of security services which needs to come with corporate network, from the firewall, from the web security, and many other stuff in there. The whole platform, as I mentioned, is very much application aware with application performance management and optimization functions. And very important are also the services on the left-hand side. We heard in the morning how important it is that an SD-WAN type of service can be linked to an existing MPLS network, because there is always a transformation phase from an existing network to a future network, because all our customers have already networks, of course. And of course, some want to start smaller, just in one region or in several regions, and keep for a time being another part of the network. So network interoperability and interfacing is important. We are providing respective interfaces. And of course, the connection to public cloud platform with a secure performance and high security is very important. And this is exactly what we do with our Cloud Connect portfolio. That is giving you just a rough overview on what is available on the ngena platform. Having said that, what is the status of ngena? So we have launched our platform July 3rd, and currently the first customers with a proof of concept are in implementation. So already a lot of RFPs are answered by our alliance partners based on the ngena platform, and we get really great resonance from the mid-size and large business customers. So the alliance itself has grown very quickly over the last months. You have seen many of the logos here. So we have nearly full coverage on a global scale with really leading telcos around the world. So the topic to really ensure high capillarity on a global scale really is given. So we have implemented the first locations, the first hubs, so that we can cover parts of North America, Central Europe, and the first regions around Hong Kong and in South Korea in Asia. We have a very aggressive rollout plan. So end of 2018, we already want to have established 16 hubs there and been really capable of delivering our ngena service worldwide. The company itself is headquartered in Frankfurt. We now have more than 100 people with ngena directly, not just in Frankfurt, but also in our operations center, which are nearshore in Slovakia and Hungary. But the ecosystem people working for ngena is much larger. We are deploying more than 150 engineers with Cisco, Comarch, and other technology partners, which are only working on the development of our platform and on the implementation. So it's a quite, I would say, huge and aggressive project which we are driving here. So how is it good for? Of course, it should be good for the customers. And what we really want to focus on is via the automation, high degree of automation approach to really ensure an optimal price-performance ratio, because we can be much more efficient in the way how we operate that global platform. Of course, also the global alliance with the involvement of the alliance partners helps a lot here. It brings together the capabilities to provide consistent global services, but still serve customers regionally. So it is global reach and local care, what is very important for us. I do not want to walk you through all of that one, but I think especially important is a topic of the fast provisioning via the global service catalog and the full automation, which allows you not just for the provisioning itself, but also during the lifetime of the network to do change management close to real time. It just takes minutes or maximum up to 1 or 2 hours to do more or less any kind of configuration change on that global platform. And last but not least, agility is not just a question of the first provisioning deployment and of the change management. It has also a lot to do with innovations and being capable of bringing innovations very quickly over a long time on that global platform. Therefore, we have developed an integrated, what we call CI/CD, continuous implementation, continuous delivery process, including our technology partners, so that we do not wait until new technology is developed, but directly out of the R&D departments of our technology partners, we can deploy that functionalities on our global platform, ensuring that this platform will always provide state-of-the-art services for our alliance partners so that they can sell this to their customers to keep them happy. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Impressive slides. So I'm trying to connect the second part of your presentation to the first one. The second part looked like Ariaka, Sorvella Cloud offer where you're partially over the top, partially on your private network. First part presented a platform where you normalize business processes across many different service providers with some of who you're competing. How do you do this together? Why would they work with you if you're competing with them? And how did you get them to expose their capabilities? And I mean, they're very different. No one exposes same APIs these days, right?
Maybe I have not been clear enough. We are not competing against any of our alliance partners. We are just a pure wholesale model. We are just selling our capabilities to our alliance partner. and we will never sell directly to any business or enterprise customers. So our value proposition is we are enabling our alliance partners so that they can serve their customers. So that is more or less solving your contradiction.
You assume there will be programs against your APIs, not the other way around.
Again, please?
You would assume that they'll program against your APIs, not you are trying to normalize your intent towards different.
Yeah, as our platform is very much built from an end-to-end perspective, there is not much integration really needed because we are providing much of that functionality. They would need to more or less do the offerings for their customers. Of course, they are APIs so that they can also integrate our platform or our capabilities into existing processes and IT systems. But most of that functionalities is already available via the portal, the ngena-owned portal.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay.